Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus and this coaching staff are cooking. The Chicago Bears just hired the Carolina Panthers' former offensive coordinator as their passing game coordinator. We're going to talk about it, break it all down right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. I'm the host, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the content. So Thomas Brown, who interviewed for the role of offensive coordinator, has just accepted a role to become the Chicago Bears passing game coordinator. Now, this is a big get. Thomas Brown, only 37 years old. He was voted as the NFL's number 2 overall offensive coordinator in a poll by the Players Association. This is him reuniting with Shane Waldron, somebody who he worked together with on Sean McVay's staff in Los Angeles. This is a really big get for the Chicago Bears, and a succession plan may now be in place for this franchise. Now, we'll talk about that here in a second. We talked previously about how a lot of the players that the Bears, or a lot of the coaches the Bears interviewed for the offensive coordinator position could end up on the staff. While that hasn't happened to a lot of them, Thomas Brown was somebody that a lot of Bears fans were interested in, and the fact that he's coming in as a passing game coordinator after being an offensive coordinator, after players voting him as one of the best offensive coordinators in the game of football, this is pretty big. Thomas Brown, a former player, on top of that, somebody who played at college as well as a little bit in the NFL, not a huge hell of a lot. He was drafted in the 6th round, but this guy's been now a coach since 2012, originally starting off as a running back coach in college, and then he went to Wisconsin. He was hired as their running back coach as well. He then coached at his alma mater in Georgia, Miami, South Carolina, but then he came to the NFL in 2000, and he joined the Los Angeles Rams coaching staff as their running backs coach. He was then given the title of assistant head coach in February of 2021. The Rams won the Super Bowl. Then he moved over to the running back coach again and the team's tight end coach. Then he was this is a guy who's moved all around. In 2023, he was hired as the offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, and now in February of 2024, he accepts the role as the passing game coordinator for the Chicago Bears. This is a big get, and I don't want to overlook it. And when I talk about a succession plan could be in place, I mean this. If the Bears do move on from Matt Eberflus, Shane Waldron could become the next head coach of the Chicago Bears. Let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say that Shane Waldron, who was a desirable offensive coordinator, he eventually accepts a role in a different organization as their head coach. Thomas Brown could now be that next up in the wing for the Chicago Bears. So often with this Bears franchise, we've never really been a franchise that set up a succession plan, that has coaches that you go deep in that coaching staff that you look at that could take over the team eventually. And while we're a little too ahead of ourselves, or me, I should say, you guys aren't saying it, I'm saying it, in calling this that right now, it brings a lot to be desired, or ask the question of, is Ryan Poles really looking at setting this team up for the future? And that is one of the biggest things in this, man. This is a move that it signifies to the Bears just how serious they are about turning this offense around when you hire somebody who was just an offensive coordinator. And we talked about the importance as well as offensive coaches moving all up and down in that offense, and being a running back coach, a tight end coach, being an offensive coordinator, now the passing game coordinator. He's going to work with quarterbacks and the receivers, help draw up that scheme for Shane Waldron as well. The familiarity that they have with each other is going to be big in this also. This is a really big get for the Chicago Bears, and they are filling out this coaching staff and making boss moves. Ryan Poles is on the job and on top of it. Now, I know a lot of people are going to ask, what could this possibly mean for Justin Fields, for Caleb Williams, for the number 1 overall pick? And I still think, like I've said with the deals that they've made so far, this is a move that could go either direction with. This is something that sets up, regardless of what you do with your quarterback situation, this sets it up nicely. This is a big get for the Chicago Bears, and I'm proud of the team and the way that they've attacked this offseason so far. And we're still early on. We haven't even gotten to free agency. We haven't even gotten to sign our own players. But Ryan Poles is making these moves that are great for the Bears now, for the Bears' future, and it just feels different than what we've seen with this team over the last handful of years. This offense could very well be legit, and moves like this are what could help propel this team to being that playoff team next year, having that depth, having that level of excellence, every level of your coaching staff on that offense, the expectations are going to rise for him as well. But let me know what you guys think on everything down below. Make sure you're following the show at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, the number to do so, 242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.